I have been fixing pipes for 45 years. My Uncle Ray put a wrench in my hand before I could drive, and the first thing he ever told me stuck with me. Half of what a plumber charges you for, you could do yourself in an afternoon for the cost of a sandwich. He was right, and in 45 years I have watched good people hand over thousands of dollars for things a $5 part would have fixed. So that is what today is. 15 secrets. Real ones the trade knows, and most homeowners never get told. Everyone does the same job. Keeps your money in your pocket instead of mine. I am not selling you a thing. I do not have a product. I just have a lifetime of watching the same problems roll through the same houses, and I would rather you fix them yourself. Some of these save you a couple $100. A few save you the kind of number that ruins a year, and I am holding one back for the very end that ties the whole list together. So stay with me. Grab a coffee. Let us get into it. Number 1, and I want you to go do this the minute the video ends. Your toilet might be leaking right now and you cannot hear it. Here's the check. Drop about 10 drops of food coloring in the tank, the back part, not the bowl. Walk away 15 minutes. Do not flush. Come back, and if there is color in the bowl, you have a leak. What is happening is the flapper, that rubber seal at the bottom of the tank, has gone soft, and it is letting water seep through and down the drain, all day, all night. A bad flapper can waste around 200 gallons a day, and it shows up on your bill with no explanation. Here is the part the trade loves. That flapper is $5, maybe $10, and it snaps on and off in 5 minutes with no tools. A plumber will gladly come do the same thing for $150. Ask me how I know. So, run the dye test tonight. It is free, and it might be the cheapest 200 gallons a day you ever save. That one saves water. This next one saves you a part you were about to buy, and it is my favorite because almost nobody knows it. If you have a dripping or stiff single-handle faucet, the guts inside is one little piece called a cartridge. When it wears out, the faucet drips or gets hard to turn. Now the big makers, Moen and Delta and a few others, put a lifetime warranty on those. Here is what they do not advertise. You call them, tell them your faucet is acting up, give them the model number, and they mail you a new cartridge, free, to your door. That is a part that runs $15 to $50 at the store, and they just send it. I have done it. It shows up in a few days, you pop the old one out, drop the new one in, and the faucet is like new. So before you buy a cartridge, and long before you replace a whole faucet, pick up the phone. It costs you a call and a stamp's worth of nothing. Number 3 is for anyone whose water has gone weak. The faucet used to blast. Now it dribbles. Or the shower lost its punch. Most folks assume the plumbing is failing and go buy a new fixture. Stop. 9 times out of 10, it is just mineral buildup, especially with hard water. Chalky deposits clogging the screen. The fix costs you nothing you do not already own. Unscrew the aerator, the little tip on the end of the faucet, and drop it in a cup of plain white vinegar. For a shower head, fill a sandwich bag with vinegar and rubber band it over the head so it soaks. Leave it a few hours. Overnight is better. The vinegar eats the mineral crust right off. Rinse it, screw it back on, and your pressure comes roaring back. A jug of vinegar is a couple dollars and does a dozen of these. That is a new fixture you did not have to buy. Between you and me, I keep a jug under the sink just for this. Number 4 is your drains. And here is where I save you from a call you keep making. If a drain runs slow or clogs every few months like clockwork, handle it the smart way. Once a month, use an enzyme drain treatment. You pour it in at night, it sits, and overnight the enzymes eat the grease and hair and soap scum building up in the pipe. It is not harsh. It just keeps the line clear so it never fully clogs. A bottle is cheap and lasts a while. Compare that to a router call, which runs $150 to $300, and if you keep clogging, you keep paying it. Now, 2 warnings, and I mean these. First, never mix drain cleaners or cleaning chemicals. Bleach and ammonia together make a gas that will put you in the hospital. Do not do it. Second, If you pour hot water to help clear a drain, use hot tap water, not boiling. Boiling water can crack porcelain and soften the joints on PVC pipe. Hot, not boiling. Remember that one. Number 5 is a little part that causes big headaches. If you have an ice maker or a water filter, listen up. A lot of homes have these things called saddle valves. It is a little valve that clamps onto a water line and pokes a tiny hole to feed your fridge. Builders like them because they are quick. Plumbers hate them because they are one of the most common slow leaks I find. They clog, they seep, they fail. And a slow leak behind the fridge is the kind you do not see until there is damage. The fix is to replace it with a proper quarter-turn valve, a real shutoff that goes fully on or fully off and seals right. The part is a few dollars. If your water is off and you are handy, it is a straightforward swap. If tapping the line makes you nervous, this is one worth a one-time visit, and then it is done for good. Either way, that saddle valve is not going to leave you a mystery puddle next year. Number 6 is one most people never think to check, and it is quietly one of the most expensive things to ignore in the whole house. It is the wax ring under your toilet, the seal between the bottom of the toilet and the pipe in the floor. Over the years, it dries out, or the toilet rocks and breaks the seal. Here is how you catch it early. Does the toilet wobble when you sit? Ever smell sewer near it? Is the floor around the base soft or discolored? Any of those, the wax ring is going. And here is why it matters so much. If that seal fails and you ignore it, water seeps under the floor every single flush. It rots the subfloor. It gets into the joists. Fixing rotted framing under a bathroom runs well past $1,000, sometimes several. The wax ring itself is under 10. Replacing it is an afternoon job for a determined homeowner. You pull the toilet, scrape the old ring, set the new one, put the toilet back. $10 part against a 4-figure repair. That is the whole game right there. If these little fixes are the kind of thing you want more of, do me a favor and subscribe to The Vintage Pipefitter. Every week, I walk through a real repair and the money it saves, the sort of thing that takes years on the job to learn. It is free, it takes one tap, and it keeps this stuff coming when something in your house acts up. All right, let us step back from the fixtures and follow the water all the way to where it enters your house. Number 7 is not a repair. It is a piece of knowledge, and it is the most valuable thing on this whole list when the day comes. Do you know where your main water shutoff is right now without looking? Because here is the situation. A pipe bursts. A hose lets go. Water is coming in, and it is not stopping. In that moment, the difference between a mop-up and a $20,000 disaster is whether you can reach that valve in the next 2 minutes. It is usually where the line comes in, near the front of the house, in a basement, crawl space, or utility closet, sometimes out by the meter. Go find it today. Turn it. Make sure it works. Some old ones seize. Show everyone in the house. Make it so a panicked person can shut the water off in the dark. I have seen homes saved by one person who knew that valve, and I have seen homes ruined by folks who could not find it in time. Number 8 follows right on that. Now that we are at the water coming in, let us talk about how hard it is coming in. Too much pressure is a silent killer of everything in your plumbing, and most people have no idea what theirs is. Here is how you find out for a few bucks. Buy a water pressure gauge, $10 or $15, and screw it onto an outside spigot or your laundry faucet. Turn the water on and read it. You want your house around 50 to 60 psi. If that gauge reads over 80, you have a problem. High pressure hammers every fixture, every valve, every appliance, every joint. It wears faucets out early, stresses the water heater, makes hoses more likely to burst. It is like running your car at redline all the time. The fix is a pressure-reducing valve installed where the water comes in. That part, plus a plumber to set, it is a few $100s one time, and it protects thousands of dollars of fixtures for years. First step is just the gauge. Go read your pressure. If it is high, now you know. Number 9 might be the highest stakes fix on this whole list for the least effort. So if you do nothing else, do this one. Go look behind your washing machine right now. See the two hoses feeding it, hot and cold? If they are black or gray rubber, you are sitting on one of the top causes of catastrophic home flooding there is. Here is why. Those hoses are under pressure all the time, day and night, whether the washer runs or not. They get old, they get brittle, and one day, one just lets go. If it goes while you are at work or asleep, you come home to hundreds of gallons on the floor and water pouring through the ceiling below. I have walked into that scene more than once. It is heartbreaking, and it is entirely preventable. The fix is braided stainless steel hoses. They have a metal mesh sleeve, and they do not burst the way rubber does. A pair is about $15 or $20. Shut the water to the washer, unscrew the old hoses, screw the new ones on. 15 minutes, $15 against a flooded house. There is no better deal in plumbing. Now we follow the water to the big appliance in the corner, your water heater, because the next 3 make it last twice as long and cost less to run. Number 10 is the best-kept secret in the trade, and I mean that. Inside your water heater is a part called a sacrificial anode rod. It is a metal rod hanging down in the tank, and its whole job is to corrode so the tank does not. It literally sacrifices itself to save the steel. Here is the thing. That rod gets used up over a few years, and once it is gone, the tank starts rusting from the inside. That is what kills most water heaters, but almost nobody checks it. Pull that rod every few years, and if it is chewed down to a wire, you replace it. A new anode rod is $20 to $40, and doing it on schedule can roughly double the life of the heater. Think about that. A water heater runs well over $1,000 to replace. A $20 rod, swapped before it is gone, buys you another decade. That is math the trade would rather you not run. Number 11 keeps that same heater healthy, and it costs you nothing but a few minutes a year. Over time, sediment, little bits of mineral and grit, settles to the bottom of the tank and builds into a layer. That layer does 2 bad things. It makes the heater work harder to heat through it, which costs you money every month, and it makes the tank fail sooner. The fix is to flush it once a year. Hook a garden hose to the drain valve at the bottom, run it to a drain or outside, and let the tank empty and carry the sediment out with it. Follow the simple walkthrough for your exact model. Do it every year, and your heater runs efficient and lasts longer. Skip it for a decade, and you are buying a heater early and paying more to run the old one the whole time. A few minutes a year against a $1,200 appliance. Put it on the calendar the same week every year so you never forget. Number 12 is the easiest thing on this list. Go check the temperature setting on your water heater. A lot of them ship from the factory cranked to 140 degrees. You want 120. Here is what that does. Every degree you are not heating to is money you are not spending, so dialing it back cuts your energy use. It slows down that sediment buildup we just talked about. And at 120, you are far less likely to scald someone, which matters with little kids or older folks in the house. 140-degree water can burn skin in seconds. 120 is plenty hot for everything you do. Now here is my hard rule, plain as I can say it. If you have an electric heater, adjusting the dial is simple. But if you have a gas water heater and anything to do with a gas line, that is where I stop you. Never do gas water heater work or gas line work yourself. That is a licensed pro, no exceptions. Gas is the one thing in this house you do not experiment with. Set your temp and leave the gas to the pros. Number 13 is a disaster you can prevent with $1 of foam or a dripping faucet, and folks in cold country know exactly what I mean. When the temperature drops hard, the water in your pipes can freeze, and when water freezes, it expands, and that can split a pipe wide open. You do not find out until it thaws, and water is suddenly spraying inside your walls. A burst pipe from a freeze is one of the worst water disasters there is. So here is how you stay ahead of it. First, insulate the pipes that are exposed or run along cold outside walls in the basement, crawl space, or garage. Foam pipe sleeves are $1 or $2 each and slide right on. Second, on a really cold night, let a faucet drip, just a trickle. Moving water is much harder to freeze, and that little drip relieves the pressure that bursts the pipe. And open the cabinet doors under sinks on outside walls, so warm air reaches the pipes. A few dollars of foam and a dripping faucet against tearing open a wall and drying out a house. Anybody who has lived through a burst pipe will tell you they would have paid 100 times that to skip it. Number 14 is how you catch a hidden leak before it ever becomes damage or a giant bill using a tool you already have, your water meter. Here is the test. Pick a stretch when nobody will use water, like everybody leaving for a couple hours, or overnight. Before you go, make sure everything is off. No faucets, no washer, no dishwasher, no ice maker, nothing. Go look at the meter and write down the reading, or note where the little dial sits. Come back after a couple hours of nothing and check it again. If it moved, water went somewhere. And if nothing was on, that means a leak. Could be a running toilet, could be something in a wall or underground you would never see. This is how you find the sneaky ones early, while they are cheap, instead of after they have rotted something or run your bill up for months. It costs you nothing but a walk to the meter twice. Do it a couple times a year. A leak you catch in an afternoon never gets the chance to become a real problem. Number 15 is a habit that saves you money on every repair you ever do from here on. And it is the most insider thing I will tell you. When you need a plumbing part, do not just default to the big box store. Find your local plumbing supply house. It is where the pros buy. Here is the difference, and it is real. A lot of what is on the shelf at the big box store is builder grade. Made to a price, the cheap version wears out faster. The same part from a supply house is usually professional grade, built to last for years. Sometimes it costs a little more. Often it is close to the same, but you buy it once instead of 3 times. And here is the bonus. The folks behind the counter know plumbing cold. Bring in your broken part, describe the problem, and they will tell you exactly what you need and often how to install it for free. That counter is one of the best free resources a homeowner has, and almost nobody uses it. Buy the pro part, ask the pro at the counter, and stop replacing the same thing over and over. All right, you stuck with me to the end, so here is the bonus I promised, and it is the one that ties this whole list together. Once a year, do a plumbing walk-around. 15 minutes. Costs you nothing. Here is the round. Open the cabinet under every sink and run your hand along the supply lines and the trap. You are feeling for any damp, any drip, any green or white crust on a fitting, because that is corrosion starting. Look at the base of every toilet for softness or wobble. Peek behind the washer at those hoses. Glance at the water heater for rust or moisture at the base. Test your shutoffs, the main and the little ones under the fixtures. Just turn them and back them off so they do not seize. And here's the part I really want you to do. While you are at it, write down the model numbers, your faucets, your toilet, your water heater. Snap a photo of each label with your phone, because when something breaks, or when you go to call Moen for that free cartridge, you will have the number right there instead of crawling around with a flashlight. 15 minutes, once a year. That one habit is how every other tip on this list gets used. Prevention is the whole trade. My Uncle Ray used to say the cheapest repair is the one you caught before it happened. 45 years in, I have never found him wrong. That is the whole list, and I am glad you stuck around. If any of it saved you a call or a dollar, that was the point. Subscribing to The Vintage Pipefitter is the way to keep it coming. Every week I bring one more real repair, the money-saving kind you only learn after decades on the job. It costs you nothing, and the next fix will be here, waiting.